A harmonious salutation to you. Soulmates are not what you think. So let's truly understand what they are. We're going to talk about today on the difference between the body, the soul, and the spirit. Once again, the primordial men, as in human, and monads. So, difference between body, soul, and spirit. I already talked about in other videos, but the body is going to be your hardware. Okay? It's the current vehicle that you are using and that you have multiples of. The soul is going to be your capacity to imaginate. So, imagination itself. It is the driver of the body. Okay? The one sending signals to the mind, which is going to be the software, which then drives the body. And finally, we have the spirit, which is the observer. It's the 10th of God inside you that comes from here. So, since we are talking about soul mates, we are going to focus on the soul today. And there is a very interesting topic or concept, that the Jewish have, but also other cultures have a pretty similar idea, which is the idea of a primordial man, as in a primordial human, which to the Jewish, this is called the Adam Kadmon. So there's not only the Adam from the Bible that you know, but there are actually many Adams. And the Adam Kadmon would be then a hermaphrodite being. It would be both genders. And from it, everything's, or all the things would come. So it dilutes itself into many, many different parts. And from those parts, those smaller parts are the, let's say, substract that the soul is composed of. When you overlay this system, the tree of life, into its body, you can understand something. Some souls are going to come from the top, some other from here, some other from here, from here, from here, and so on and so forth. Different parts of the body are going to assign different, let's say, flavors to that specific soul. That's even when things like caste systems that you have in some places come from. The idea that people that came from the bottom are not gonna go up. But again, when it becomes something that limitates people in this life, it's just because they are taking the concept literally. It's not a literal thing that you should be at the bottom. It's just, again, the flavor of the soul. Everyone has their own value. Because if you don't have feet, you don't have the foundation, you fall over, right? So everything has value in this. But the idea here with the primordial man is that it separates into multiple beings, like I was saying. And now those souls are incomplete. So when it was a hermaphrodite, its male part was lonely, its female part was also lonely. But now that it's separated, they could come back together and form a union. And that feeling from getting back together to a part of yourself was really good. And that's when you start to understand why a soul mate exists. Because it is actually that bit of the soul. Imagine this is your soul, the right part here. There's another soul out there which is going to lock into you, and you're going to become whole again. Okay? That's the feeling. So that's not puppy love, that's not Disney romantic, whatever. That's a literal thing. It's a literal mate of your soul. Now the trick is there are actually many possible mates for your soul. Some may have a better luck than others, but the idea is that anyone kind of serves, okay? And you're not necessarily going to engage romantically with each and every one of them. because the soulmate's purpose is to teach you things, to make you grow. So actually, a lot of the times, they're going to be opposite polarities to you. Again, where have we seen this? We have here the concept of yin-yang, right? It's my poorly drawn symbol here, but it's all right. Again, they're opposites that complement each other. So it's not gonna be puppy love and all this Disney things, right? If you do happen to encounter your soulmate, which is not granted for all of the incarnations you're here, but that's the idea. It's more like someone that comes to help you grow, someone that comes to help support you in this incarnation. Now, that being said, we can also understand it from another point of view, which is the point of view of monads. You have many spheres. The soul is going to, let's say, start here, a big soul. It is going to divide itself into 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Smaller monads. These parts are going to again divide themselves into 7. And so on and so forth. Okay? So a soul, for example, in a human could be one of these. And in another human could be this other one. So you see they are part from the same soul group, which doesn't necessarily make them soul mates. But again, you can see how different types of souls can help you in your evolution. And not only human souls, but a soul can inhabit many different beings. It can inhabit animals, it can inhabit minerals. That's where you get the elementals from. So again, you're not necessarily going to have this, romantic love story and so on. That's nothing to do with the concept of soulmates. If you do happen to have it, congrats, that's really great, but that's not what the idea is behind here. Other ways of understanding how this may happen, something similar, is when a soul comes, incarnates, and another soul, which is its mate or someone supporting it, is not incarnated, but helping them from the subtle dimensions, okay? Or they may conjoint an incarnation. There's many ways, like it gets really, really complex, right? But the main idea here is that you're not striving for something external. That's always a problem. It's not this soulmate of yours which is going to complete you necessarily, but the teachings. It's the mate showing you the things that it has that you have as well, because you realize that you and them are just one. That's actually the teaching. So when you embody, for example, if they come, say you are someone which works mainly with the right limb, the right column here, your mate is probably going to be, again, the opposite of it, the complementary, the left column. Your goal is to reach the middle. See, eventually everyone has to reach the middle. You can come from here and say, no, I'm just working the right. Okay, if you want to come back, you're going to come back to the middle. So by balancing with the other side, you can do it. Your mate, being the opposite side, is going to show you how it is done. If you're someone which is more chaotic, they'll be more organized, and you have to deal with that. You're going to have to embody that. Again, it's never something external. So forget this idea of, oh, when I find my soulmate, everything's going to be better. This doesn't exist. It doesn't work like that. This is, though, a spoiler to another teaching of the 19th Arcana, which you still have to see on the Matrix character series. But as you can see, it's always something internal. So if you're looking for better relationships, so that's why you clicked on this video, fix yourself first and better relationships will follow. Don't try to find someone, don't try to measure yourself in a way so that you can find someone quote unquote perfect or better for you and so on. Make you a better person and it will follow. The lock will now work. If you were a person that the lock was like, oh, fucked up and so on, you cannot function let's say if this is the lock of the person, which is actually what you want, you don't function well together. So you have to change yourself now, right? So that it fits a little bit better. Again, internal to external, subtle to dense. It's always from the subtle realms to the denser ones. That was a shorter one, but as somebody had asked me, I made a video on it. Another idea as well is the concept of twin flames, which is very recent. It's from, again, some romantic novels and so on. It is not necessarily the same idea. It's just something, a way for people to try to interpret. It can get a little bit trickier because, again, this is new types of understanding. Try focusing on that understanding. The concept of a soul being divided and you having other parts of it. Never take things literally. It's always subtle. It's always something occult, something symbolic. Okay? Don't make crazy stuff because you thought, oh, I found my soulmate and so on. Don't, don't judge yourself a lot. Don't put yourself down because you think, oh, I fumbled my soulmate and so on. Doesn't work like that. Now, I hope this video was helpful to you. If you do have suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, please make sure to leave a like, comment, send me a message, subscribe, do everything so that I can know if this is helpful and I can continue making those. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.